Yo guys, what is up? Welcome to TSO Crypto, your home for crypto. Today, I'm your host Martin, and today we're gonna be looking at Bitcoin tree falling peaks. Now, if you're catching this from live, welcome. And if you're catching the replay, you know what to do. Hit the like, hit the bell, hit the sub. Join us on the Discord. Yo, what is up, guys? Happy Friday. I hope you're having an amazing weekend, or start of an amazing weekend. And I wish you all a great weekend. So let's start going here and looking at the charts. What is happening with market cap? Market cap on the daily. Let's go to the daily. Market cap, again, seems to be dropping right now, right? So, again, look at this, right? We started getting some kind of drop coming in. We had a rally. We were talking about some inverse head and shoulders building up for Bitcoin. And that is something that is still in play. Once we go to Bitcoin, I'm going to discuss that. But on the daily for market cap, we still have the same thing. Have the strong bearish divergence. We have the hidden bullish. We try to rally, ultimately hit resistance, right, at 2.5. And we're failing to go higher than that. Doesn't mean this is done. Doesn't mean this is done either, right? If we break below this low, then yes, this hidden divergence will be done. And they'll be looking for a drop farther down. At which point we will probably be targeting the 2.05 trillion mark. Holding this level and trying to get back up here, we'll be reaching for that 2.65. Those are the targets right now. That's the way it could go. All right, so let's see what else we have in store. So something else that we could be building here that we kind of built here. We tried to undo, but didn't quite do it. Okay, so let's see. Real quick here. So we have a 3 black crows candle pattern developing, right? We had it here. Kind of played out here, tried to undo it. We didn't quite, and then we took a drop. So we're having something similar coming in here, which is just 3 bearish movements. Now, again, this day hasn't closed, so we cannot confirm this as a third candle. That's something that we could be looking at, right? Just be aware of that when you're doing your trading, that if this closes on the red, particularly if it becomes a little bit larger, we could be looking for that 3 black crow pattern and be looking for a movement down, okay? Again, keep an eye on that one. Next thing, let's go on to Bitcoin, right? That's what we're all here for. What the heck is Bitcoin going to do? So Bitcoin is developing a kind of like a do or die pattern on the 4-hour chart. We're going to discuss it shortly. Daily, I think it's going to be very similar to market cap. We're not really doing a lot. All right, we have the hidden divergence again. We managed to come down here and hold support, beautifully holding that support at the 62,423, man. We hit it almost spot on. Lowest point, $62,353. So almost spot on hit. So what's going on here with Bitcoin, right? On the daily, still the same. If this divergence still takes hold, we're still moving to the 54,200, right? That's a target. Breaking this area, the 60,423 gets us there. Holding on to this zone and trying to go back up again. We're aiming for the 72,820, maybe even up here, 73,000s, right? Again, we discussed this move yesterday and how we get there. Gonna go into the 4-hour chart so we can talk about it more in depth, right? So, Bitcoin on the 4-hour. This is important. I'm just waiting for it to load, guys. This is important because this pattern is usually not really good if we develop a 3 fallen peaks pattern. Okay, that could get us to where we drop a lot more. That would tell us that it's a bearish movement coming in, and we could be looking for price action farther down for Bitcoin. So again, just waiting for it to load. Again, chart's not even moving. So again, just gonna take a second. There we go. And so first thing, we had the upsloping channel. We already talked that we broke it to downside, and that's something that we called last week. And it's just there, and we just basically refreshed yesterday and say yes, measure move and everything. So we're looking for the inverse head and shoulders. That inverse head and shoulders is still in play, even though we are here right now. So this will just drag on to here, basically, to carry up this shoulder movement, right? And depending on how we close this candle, how we start to climb, that's going to be key, right? So this thing that we called yesterday is not completely like a dead move, right? But what I'm looking at right now is the drop that's coming, okay? The potential drop that could be coming. So here, I'm just going to go here and put some numbers. So I'll do the number 1. And then here we're going to do the number 2. And then over here, we're going to do the number 3. All right, that is our 3 falling peaks. Some of you guys that watch the channel, we've called this move before. So you probably already know what we're looking for, right? We can even consider this to be peak 1, right? So this would be the first move, second move, and third move. Now, with 3 fallen peaks, good evening, Carthago, how's it going, man? With 3 fallen peaks, the move basically looks like this. So we have our first drop, right? Then we have our second move here. Then we have our move that goes here, right? I'm just going to try to draw this so it's easier for you guys to see what I'm talking about. All right, so this is the third peak. We need to hold this level. If we don't hold this level, right, that 61,700 in this chart, and we break it, that's basically going to be confirming the 3 falling peak pattern. So 1, 2, 3. If you just want to say that this one's not the first one and it's just this one, it's still the same thing. It's 1, 2, 3 peaks that successively go down. That is a bearish move, right? And again, if that was the case, then this would just go there. And that's still not looking good. But a 3 fallen peaks pattern sometimes can build into that inverse head and shoulders, right? It just depends what Bitcoin does now. That is critical at this point, where we could be looking for that movement down and then drop. The reason I didn't call it this yesterday is because we were holding here and we were still with this impulse up, right? So we were at this candle and it was still looking like this was the move that we're going to go for, the inverse head and shoulders. Wake up today, see that the movement weakened. We didn't quite even go for that neckline. And now we're starting to get a potential drop. So we're looking for that to also come into play, right? So 3 fallen peaks could be in store for us. And if that is the case, we're looking for a larger movement down. Okay, that would basically probably put Bitcoin here at the 59,000, which would be the 618, or even the 786 at 55. All right. So we just discussed that move here. Gonna go to the chart where you should look at to keep on bringing this move into view. Okay. And what I'm gonna do afterwards is I'm also gonna look at Bitcoin 1 hour so you can see how this movement built in the past and then go about it, right? All right, so here, same thing, right? I'm just gonna go in, look at the chart a little bit better, and do the same thing I did in the past. So again, we're just gonna go number 1, then we're just gonna say this is number 2, and then we're just gonna say that this is here is number 3. And again, 3 fallen peaks, right? That's what's in store for us as far as Bitcoin goes. Now, the thing that is here that, you know, it's kind of good and something that we could try to look for is, you know, we're still holding supports, and we can still come down to the support and hold it and still be in for this shoulder, right? This shoulder could still be developing at this zone. So again, liking the fact that it's still doable for the pattern to build before, you know, we declare that drop. So we need to drop below this here level, and that's going to be at 61,878. Moving below that price breaks that area, and that 3 fallen peaks basically confirms, and then we're looking for a major movement down or a larger movement down. Again, that target could get us to that 54, 55,000. Again, it was within the fibs. 786, I think, was at the 55K mark, around the 55K mark. So that would be a doable move for Bitcoin. Okay, would not necessarily be bad. What's up, Brian? Now, what I was telling you guys on the 1 hour, and I'm just going to jump to it and I'm going to come back to the 4, is I want to show you this on the 1 hour chart. Why is it not loading properly? Here we go. All right, so on the 1 hour chart, right? Similar pattern. I'm going to go to a cleaner chart so you can see this, right? So let's wait for it to load. And man, why is like trading view so slow when loading charts? It's just insanely annoying sometimes. Here we go. All right. So if this is the move, we had our drop, we had our first peak, right, on the 1 hour. So this will be the first peak. This will be the second peak, right? And this is that third peak, right? Once we broke this line, you know, oh, I might want to do that. Once we broke this here line, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Come on, draw it. It didn't draw it. Okay. What is it? Why is it not letting me use the other tool? Here we go. Let's see. Oh, there we go. All right. So once we broke that line, basically got confirmed. We didn't quite go for that larger move, but that basically confirms the move that we are still moving down. And again, as you can see, got back tested as resistance. So 1, 2, 3. Right. So 1, 2, 3. Broke it, and then we moved down, and we had a large move. I mean, considering the scale of the chart, we had that large move. What's up, Zun? So that's what I'm thinking, right? So 1, 2, 3, we saw it on the 1 hour, right? It played. Now we're starting to see something similar building on the 4, right? So this is a 1 hour through falling peak. And we broke that neckline, sorry, that bottom line there for the last valley, right? So 1, 2, 3. And if we go to the 4 hours, right, it's just starting to look similar, right? We had our first peak, second peak, and third peak, right? So watch out for that potential pattern developing, okay? So we have two patterns. One's a good one, it's a bullish pattern. The other one's a bearish pattern. We either go for the inverse head and shoulders, and then we rally, or we go for the falling peaks, okay? Very important that you guys understand what's developing, okay? And how to look at it. All right, let's go back to Bitcoin, the other chart we'll look at. Finish the 4 hour, and then we're gonna move on to the 1. All right, as far as bullishness from the last move that we had here, we had the hidden bearish. We know that's part of the reason that we were moving down, and then we're starting to get that other spike to come up here, which was good. Unable to go above the resistance. Again, that was important for us to do. Start to drop again, right? Next, number 4, there is no 4. 3 fallen peaks is a 3. It's a pattern that develops with 3 spikes or 3 peaks as the price is moving down. Let me see if I can get an image for it so you guys can see it. So 3 fallen peaks would basically look like this. 1, 2, 3. Has to be an upward trend. 3 peaks are lower than the last 3 similar peaks. Pattern gets confirmed when prices closes below the lowest valley, right? That's why I was telling you guys. Well, we kind of want to hold that. So we have 1, 2, 3. They're kind of similar in moves, right? The valleys also just becoming larger with the moves, and then we got to hold this level. So again, that is a move that could be in store for us. Okay, there's no 4th. The move here is either we break up and we go for that inverse head and shoulders, or we move down and we confirm the 3 fallen peaks. All right, that's it. That's the move. Super important. I think it's going to be key as we go into the weekend, what Bitcoin's going to do. I mean, the other thing that could happen is that Bitcoin just starts to move sideways. It doesn't want to go for either pattern, and then it's going to be basically breaking both. So, movement sideways here, like if we just start, like, you know, ranging here, it's basically going to get rid of that 3 fallen peaks, and it's also going to get rid of the inverse head and shoulders. That would be the third option. But I'm more concerned with some move happening, or some move coming in. With Bitcoin has been volatile, we have seen large moves coming in, particularly the drop we got, you know, from the high point to the low point. If we were to measure it, it is somewhat significant. So we use that wick here on the top, and we use that wick at the bottom. We're looking at 17% drop from when it hit all-time highs recently. Okay, so it's no small deal that we can still drop to a 25%. You know, as we are still looking for Bitcoin to cool off before we get our next rally coming in. Okay, I don't think the bull run's done. I'm just being cautious about what could be coming in as far as moves. Haven't done ETH yet, Andrew. We're gonna move into ETH after Bitcoin. So that's what could be in store. Okay, potential 3 fallen peaks, maybe inverse head and shoulders. Both moves are extremely valid right now. Okay, both moves are kind of there. So again, let me bring in another image for you guys to see what I'm talking about. This is a 3 fallen peaks. Right? It's some from someone else, but that's a tweet. But anyways, I just wanted to draw that. You have your uptrend, so your prior uptrend, right? And if we look at this, oh snap! Now that got placed somewhere I didn't want it to be placed, and now I can close that window. All right. So you see what it is, right? So again, we have our up rising trend, and that's why I had placed the number 1 here earlier. But then I say, if you don't want to use that as the number 1, that's fine. You can still use it here. It's still been an uptrend. But you know, we have 1, and that will be our first move. 2, and then 3. Again, either way, it still works. 3 falling peaks, right? Watch out for the move. Okay, let's go to the 1 hour. We don't have anything bullish right now to kind of say, yeah, well, look, there's hidden bullish. We could rally. There's not. All right, so we'll see. Yeah, maybe. I mean, upon breaking that third valley, yes, you could set some kind of confirmation and then see where it goes. Now, Bitcoin in the 1 hour beautifully came back here, hit support at the 60,801. That is nice. We had bounced and we had the hidden divergence, and that was part of what was driving the move here, right? So this move here was being driven by the hidden divergence, right? The small rally that we got here. For some reason, sometimes it doesn't want to draw really good. There we go. That small peak. We didn't have anything bearish here, right? So there was no bearishness here. We had it in the 4 hour, not here. Now, as far as what's going on right now, if we look at this move, right, and if you follow the stream, you already know what I'm going to do here. And I'm just going to assume to confirm, but I think it's very valid when we look at this as a, let's see first if it's going to be there. It isn't, man. It isn't. Ah, it almost got me. It looked like it when it was zoomed out. I was going to say we had bullish divergence, but we don't. If we zoom in here a lot, it's not there, man. We go here, and I'll just go draw a line. Right, look at that. We're still a bit off. I'm going to remove that so you can see it better. There's a small gap. Ooh, tough breaky, man. I was looking for that bullish divergence for it to drive price action to the upside. We don't have it. We also don't have it here. So this move I was going to look for is not there, but this one is. And I know it's there because I was also looking at it. So we have hidden bearish coming into play against the MACD, not against the RSI. So that's why we're getting this small dip. Add resistance, right? Resistance here at the 63,667 mark, or whatever that one is here. 64? Yeah, 64,000, sorry. 64,305. Okay. Part of the reason we're getting it again is this divergence. So this divergence is telling us that, you know, we're kind of basically blocked from going up right now, but we're holding support, which is good. And this is key, again, into determining whether or not we're going to go up or down. So the 1 hour is bearish. And the 4 hour doesn't really have anything for us that is bullish. And the daily, you know, it just has a hidden bullish, but it's not really doing a lot. So my call for Bitcoin overall is cautious. I want to go neutral because it's really dependent on the next couple moves. Either we go for the inverse head and shoulders, or we go for the 3 fallen peaks. Or, you know, or we just go neutral and move sideways. So there's really nothing that's telling me, yes, Bitcoin's going to go up and go for that. Yesterday was looking really good. Yesterday when we were setting up for this move, man, was it looking good, right? So again, we were at this candle here yesterday when we were live. So this one, again, at the same time. And again, we were starting to get that movement up, and I was really feeling really good about the move. Today, it's like, oh, yeah, 3 fallen peaks could be a thing. It could be an issue. Now, you don't always develop a 3 fallen peaks when you're doing an inverse head and shoulders, okay? Just for you guys to know. It just so happens that we're doing both right now. So just for argument's sake and for you guys to see what I'm talking about is you can have, you know, you're moving up, your peak, then you have your second peak, right? And then you could go higher and then drop here and then go up. So at that point in time, you're still creating, you know, your inverse head and shoulders, but this spike, it's lower than the spike. So just because you have one doesn't mean you have to have the other one. It just so happens that sometimes when the second portion, it's lower, right? That we are developing both. And then you are at a, which one are we going to do situation. Okay. The lazy shoulder, right? The lazy neckline. So when the neckline's falling, so to speak, it's better because it's easier for us to push through it. Instead of if this spike was up here, you know, then that neckline would be getting farther away from us. So the fact that the neckline's coming towards us, as it lowers towards the price, makes it easier for us to break it, right? So I like this one better, but this one also sets for the 3 fallen peak pattern. So again, watch out. There's nothing else telling us bullishness. That's why I'm a little bit more concerned when looking at this. Even from here to here, there's really nothing bullish there in that move. So just be careful, okay? Again, it's going to be important how we go into the weekend. Let's go to Ethereum. So much information, man. What are we going to do with it? How was y'all's weeks, guys? Y'all have good trades? Let me know in the chat. Stat says, look how the 4 hour 200 simple moving average holds Bitcoin nicely. Nice. Well, it could be holding Bitcoin. That means we just don't want to break the 200 simple moving average. The 200 simple moving average is a very, very strong average that we want to hold. We already discussed this in the past extensively, particularly in the daily. In the daily, breaking below 200 simple moving average brings the bear market. It's a low bear zone. Not good. So, yes, you might be holding it. Don't mean you want to be there. Fasan, yeah. All right, we'll see, right? We'll see. Let's go check out Ethereum, man. All right, so let's see. Again, this is coming from the 4. I'm just going to send it back there. No need for it to be here. So it's going to be on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, and that's fine. Yeah, a lot of people wonder about ETH, right? I'm thinking it's going to be looking the same as Bitcoin, to be honest. Last thing we had was hidden bullish, holding to beautiful support. Great. Came back up, faced resistance, like we said yesterday. And we were even, like, bouncing between resistance and support, which is good. But right now we're breaking the support here at 3,223. So the move could be down here against support, or, we could pump up here. And that is because on the 4 hour, we're basically doing the same thing that Bitcoin is. Like, banking that is looking exactly the same, and it is. Here, the valley is not as pronounced as with Bitcoin, where we had a little bit larger dip before that second spike. But we're basically setting up for a similar move. So here's our first peak. Here's our second peak. And then here is our third peak, right? And this is our uptrend. So we can see we have our uptrend coming in. Then we have our drop with that recovery. Then we have our drop, right? And then we have our potential rally again. And now we're just basically here. And again, similar, right? Do or die. That shoulder still forming. But at the same time, it's making this peak be a little bit more worrisome, right? Is it going to go for the 3 fallen peak? Is it going to go for the inverse head and shoulders? So, again, either or. These are moves that we don't want to be trapped in. So how do you play these moves, right? I didn't say that on Bitcoin, but how do you play these moves? Upon any move breaking anything, sometimes there's a back test or a throwback, right? So if this was the line to beat, as we get the move here and we break, sometimes we back test it to confirm, and then we just fall farther back. But it could be that on the throwback, we do get above, and then we just reverse it, and that undoes that, right? Similar thing happens here. We start a rally. We hit that neckline, we try to pass it, we come back test it. If we bounce, that's good. But if we break below it, that's a failed inverse head and shoulders, and then we're looking for a movement down still. Okay? So how do you play them? You wait for them to break. That's it. You wait for them to break. Whatever it is the option, if you're going to go, short, you wait for it to break here, right? With some tight stop loss in case you get that throwback. All right? Sorry, I didn't want to do that text tool there. All right. But to do a draw tool. So you wait here. And you wait here. On both scenarios. So breaking this to the upside, you go long. Right? But watch for the throwback. If that throwback breaks back down, you cancel your position because that's a failed rally. Similar thing here. It breaks, you go short on the break. And you watch for the throwback. If that throwback goes back up and gets above that line, you cancel your position. But if it just hits and confirms it, then you're good. That means that you're still moving down. So that's how you play that. But again, you're set up for both moves now. Yeah, not financial advice. Basically how you would trade that. as far as, you know, opening a position and closing it. All right, so that's how those could come into play. With that said, Ethereum is also not creating anything bullish on the 4-hour. And then on 1 hour, it's probably very likely going to be looking the same as Bitcoin again. So we're getting the drop here. We're also making more negative momentum. I can tell here, you know, the lines here, but also reads 19.5. Here it reads not 23.6. And now I'm looking at the number that's here when I'm reading it. So again, I'll just go over it again. So 19.5 and 23.6 negative. We also don't have anything here on the RSI that's going to help us. Maybe on this last little bit here. But, you know, I'm not going to bank anything on these tiniest of moves because it's just very, very close. I'm just going to look at this. It closed at 3,286. And here is 3,286.3. And this is 0.5. So the difference is like 0.3 cents. I'm not going to say that it's bullish or bearish in 0.3 cents. It's the same thing. It's just a sideways motion. The only thing is that sideways motion does allow for a bullishness chart to be drawn, and this is going to be medium bullish. Right? But I'm not going to bank medium bullish on such a small move given current market conditions, in particular the fact that Bitcoin doesn't even have it. So for Ethereum, I'm just going to be like, you know, chilling. Why do we have people coming in and, you know... Ha! The mighty hammer has come in and deleted the comments of Spameth. Oh, we get Mr. Spamalot coming in here. I know, man. I know. He's been... I didn't ban him. I just silenced him for like 24 hours. Right. So, those are the moves. Again, there is medium bullish. Not going to be banking a lot on it because we're not seeing it come to play with any strength. The only thing that we're seeing that is more evident and it's showing up a lot more is this divergence that also Bitcoin had, right? So, boom, this is barely there. But again, it is what it is. And that's what we have. So, again, hidden bearish. That's about it, right? Have I checked out Doge? I haven't looked at Doge in the longest time. Well, Jason says it could be at a higher price in a different country, like kind of like Bitcoin when it broke. It's all-time high in a different country, but the US. I mean, yes, you're right. In a different country, it could be something different, but you got to take into account that there's exchange rates that are also coming in. So if it's breaking it on like the Bitcoin versus the pound, you also got to consider whether or not the dollar strengthened or weakened against the pound, because that plays a factor onto that. So if Bitcoin's breaking against the pound but not the dollar, it just basically means the pound weakened, so Bitcoin's worth more against the pound, because the dollar is also worth different. So there's like you're triangulating exchange rates basically. Just think of Bitcoin as any regular currency, and if Bitcoin to US dollar is higher than Bitcoin than US dollar to British pound, then it's the same thing. The pound is worth less than the dollar, so the pound is worth less than Bitcoin. That's it. There's really no other way of looking at it. It's just the same thing. I mean, you're doing two exchange rates. The major currency for trading is the US dollar for Bitcoin. That is the largest trading pair for Bitcoin. So if you're going to look at Bitcoin against anything for all-time highs, just look at it against the dollar. If it breaks the all-time high against the pound, that's just people trying to make hype. If it breaks the, against the Mexican peso or the Venezuelan bolivar or, the Russian ruble or, whatever currency, yuan, whatever it is that you want to break it against, rupees, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's just exchange rate. Measure it against the dollar, not against the NASDAQ. Measure against the dollar because that's the largest trading pair. You don't measure US dollar against NASDAQ. You don't measure pesos against NASDAQ. You measure currencies against the major trading pair. and the major trading pair in the world is the dollar. So you always make your analysis based on currency versus the dollar, and then whatever differences there are, it's called parity or arbitrage. And you can trade arbitrage when there's differences on exchange rates between different different countries or different coins. So let's say because you're basically, when you're looking at arbitrage, you're looking at three pairs. So you have your, let's say you have your USD MXN for the peso, then you have your USD GBP for the British pound, and then you have your GBP MXN, right? So you're looking at three usually when you're doing arbitrage, and then you have this, and then you have this. So for the example of Bitcoin, it will just be the same, just wherever it says MXN, just change it to Bitcoin, and it's basically the same thing. But you're looking at three trading pairs, and what you're looking for is, gaps on the trading. So it could be that this is high, this is low, and therefore this, in theory, should be low as well. But sometimes it is not as low. So let's do this the other way, the proper way to do it. It is not as low. So a no, not equal, right, to what the average is if you convert it back. So there's always a gap, not always, but sometimes there's a gap when trading between three pairs, where if you were to cycle through, right, and you go from here to here, and then from here to here, and then from here to here, or the other way around, from here to here, and then there, you end up with more of this, of more dollars, than if you would have done a trade back and forth, right? So when that happens, it's called arbitrage, and you can trade based on arbitrage. You just depend the bot to be tracking it. I know there's bots that track it. I don't like doing arbitrage. It's just, you have to be trading real fast. There has to be a lot of liquidity. A lot of the markets for the major coins have liquidities, but the arbitrage is really, really hard to find. Sometimes it's on different exchanges. You'll have arbitrage, not at the same exchange, because they tend to close those gaps so that you're not able to get that arbitrage. But you might find it on different exchanges. But for that means you have to have funds on different exchanges to be able to play those moves. And to me, it's just not worth the hassle. But a lot of people do get money and make good money trading on arbitrage. Just for me, it's not good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Carthago. I'm not saying about parking cash. I'm talking about like trading, basically Forex trading. Yeah, if you want to park cash, hell, man. I'm not sure, what your percentages are, but hell, the Mexican government. I mean, if you just want to park cash, the Mexican government is having like 11.23% on treasury bonds for 6 months yield. So that's annual. So it's 11.23% annual on 6-month treasury, right? And some institutions in Mexico are doing, like this one, new. They're doing 15% yearly on your monies that you have on your card with them. So you open an account with this company, you put money in it, they're gonna give you 15% returns a year. And they're guaranteeing it. And, yep, that's it. So in Mexico, there's some good instruments to park your money on. I wouldn't park it in the NASDAQ. If you ask me, I would probably put it here, get that 15%, particularly if there's a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty, which, it's something that we might see coming up with the government, changing in, presidency and a lot of things. So Mexico's having elections and the U.S. is having elections. So we're going to see a lot of things happening on the world, particularly with the North America free trade zone, or that, we're going to see Mexico changing presidents, U.S. changing presidents in the same year. Usually happens every 2 or 3 terms. Yeah, every 3 terms on U.S. basis. On Mexico, every 2 terms. That we get both presidents that change around the same time. So when there's uncertainty in the markets, particularly, if Trump is going to win. Very likely it's looking that way. Or, you know, if I don't think Biden is going to get anything, but, you know, it just depends. Again, not trying to be political or going for one side or the other. But, you know, whoever it is that ends up being president is going to definitely raise uncertainty. And with that uncertainty, we get market fluctuations. And that leads to some volatility that, you know, could be interesting. But yeah. Yeah, I understand. You're expecting a lot of things to default. Yeah, that's fine, man. You can always have gold, Bitcoin, and just some cash. It's always good to have cash on hand. All right. So that's ETH. That's blah, blah, blah. We already talked, you know, we talked about a lot of things I didn't have planned for today. That's pretty good. I wasn't really thinking about covering any kind of arbitrage talk in the channel, mainly because we rarely do anything else than US dollar pairs, and we're not really looking for arbitrage, but, you know, that's pretty good. Small caps and medium caps stocks are... I couldn't read the whole thing because there's something going on. Yeah. Probably, man. Probably. We gotta see how things are gonna go, right? I think Powell's hoping to the top 5 will hold off for soft landing. Will the rest get fresh? We'll see. Use Mexi for trading and Kraken for spot. Kraken don't move Wi-Fi. Yeah, so you see, Danny, that's arbitrage. You could do that. So basically, Danny's saying that he uses an exchange called Mexi for like trading and Kraken for spot, and he says he also see Wi-Fi moving every minute. So he's his big moves on Mexi, but you know, yeah, you can buy Wi-Fi and spot on, you know, Kraken if it pumped on, you know. So if in Mexi, let's say Kraken rallied and you had that movement up. Sorry, not that tool. If it rallied and you had the movement up on Mexi, right? But on the other exchange is lagging, right? You can say this price is lower. You can buy it here on Kraken at a lower price, send it over to Mexi and sell it for a profit. That is arbitrage. That's why I told you need to have money on 2 exchanges for that to happen, because usually when in the same exchange, those pairs are closed and it's just harder for them to be traded. Okay. Yeah, some days you make quick 300 to 500 exactly. Yeah, that's correct, man. Yeah. So, yeah, arbitrage is a good option. I told you, a lot of people make money on arbitrage. For me, it's just depending about the track. If you already know that, you know, you can do it on an exchange where you're having a benefit because it's lagging exchange. Sometimes happens when I use BitSo, which is a Mexican exchange. Sometimes there's gaps when the market's moving, but they tend to close really fast now. So I usually just wait. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Karthik. Again, that's why I was telling you that you need to have funds on both. Because basically what you do, the cycle, it's very easy to track. It's not like a hard cycle at all, particularly if you're only doing it with 2 exchanges or with 2 assets. So let's see your Mexi rises, right? So this is the M. And then the other one is it's lagging, right? So it's lower on price, and that's for Kraken. What you basically do is you buy here, that is lower, you send it here, right? You turn it into dollars, so you basically cancel your position by selling it, and then you shift the dollars somehow, maybe via Bitcoin or some other coin that you can send, and then just send it back here, and then here you turn it back into dollars, so you can have money available to purchase more on Kraken, and then it's just a cycle. Same thing if you have cash on this exchange on Mexi, and then that drops. It's the same thing here. You know, it's dropping, so you would basically sell here. You know, you buy here, then you would shift your money here, right? And then here you would purchase, so you would sell it at dollars as the value is higher, and then you switch the dollars back to that exchange, so you can always have money to keep that circling. It's just a cycle. It's just a cyclical thing. But you always have to have money on both exchanges, and you have to have asset on both exchanges so you can, take advantage of these positions and these trades. It's just a pain in the butt to be doing it on both. Sometimes by the time you're shifting the money, if there's an error on, how the markets are sending the funds, it could be that it lags, and then if it lags, you're kind of screwed. By the time the money gets there, the movement's already caught up, and you just wasted on transfer fees, but you didn't get anything there. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you could also do it that way. So if you know an exchange moves up and you are on the other exchange and it's lagging, you can take advantage of the lag, and then just basically purchase here at the lag point, wait for it to pump, and then sell it here for cash, and then just keep it there. The thing is that sometimes, right, it just depends on how volatile the market is. You're gonna get the pump here on MEXC. All right, here's lagging, right? You purchased, then you just kind of like dropped here, right? And then here it just didn't move because the market's back to where it was, and then it just didn't get that move. So by that point in time, you just basically purchased, but you're not getting any action. And the fact that you didn't shift it, it just makes it to where it's stuck here, and I have to sell it probably around the same price. But again, that just depends. And again, both ways work. It just depends on how you want to do it. I would usually just shift exchanges to try to sell it and confirm that move. If you can do it, and if it's lagging, within like a couple minutes or something like that. But again, if it's just a really volatile move where you get a quick spike and then a drop, like let's say, something like this, right? I'm just going to use a spike as an example, but let's say it opened here. You got that rally, but that came back down within 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 2 minutes. You might have not gotten a chance here to purchase. And then by the time the movement dropped, it probably didn't cut up, and it just kind of stay where it's at. So it's not, you're going to get that large move. But yeah, that works. Yeah. But again, hey man, if you're finding those opportunities, keep at them. That's a good way to make money. Keep trading those. That's always better than, just not getting money. So if that arbitrage opportunity, it's an arbitrage because there's a different disparity on pricing between two different exchanges or two different assets. So yeah, take advantage of those, man. Those are golden. Those are golden because that's secure. That's like almost for sure money. Okay. Gonna run ADA real quick. Where's ADA at? 62. All right, let's check ADA at 62 cents, 62.1. Oh, man. All righty, ADA, load up. All right, so ADA, nothing happening on the daily. Still have the hidden bullish at support. Came back up, hit the zone here at 64. That's fine. Broke below the 50% retrace. Not good. We're right now facing it as a resistance. Definitely going to try to take that. We'll see. Let's jump in here. Why do we have this line? This must be from the 1 hour. Very likely. That's from the 4. That's fine. It just should be tighter there on the move. This from the 1 hour as well. It just makes no sense where it's at. Send it back there. And then this is also from the 1 hour. Very, very likely. There we go. And this is also from the 1 hour. Jeez, I forgot to anchor a lot of things yesterday. All right, that's it. All right, so we have the bullish divergence. This from the 1 hour as well. So we had the bullish divergence, rallied, created the bearishness, right? Hidden bearish, sideways motion, and now we're starting to drop. So again, no news, nothing else happening that is bullish. The last thing we have is the hidden bearish, and it's just basically did its job. We moved sideways. Now we're starting to drop, but we're not dropping below the previous low. Inverse head and shoulders, kind of forming here again. Shoulder, neck, shoulder. Not really liking the way it's looking as an inverse head and shoulders, but it could still work, and it would be very, very steep as a move like that. Again, guys, if you're enjoying the content, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the sub. Hook us up with a like. Everyone loves the like. I love a like. Carlos says, I'm so tempted on ADA. Maybe 1 or 4 days now. So, yeah. All right, let's go to the 1 hour. So ADA, if you remember, we said we had a small inverse head and shoulder here that formed on the 1 hour with that broke that neckline, and we went for that measure move and we hit it. Well, so we're confirm hitting it already. So that means inverse head and shoulders. We talked about it yesterday, right? We didn't have it before then, so we didn't call it when it happened because we weren't here. This was Wednesday, when I wasn't here on Wednesday, so we were not able to see this move developing. Otherwise, we probably would have called it. And next thing we have is, again, hidden bullish. Now it's dropping. We no longer have it here on this last bitty move. Do we have it? Do we have it? Man, I hate it when the charts are so freaking close, man. The moves. Yeah, it's just sideways. That's it. Look. I draw a line there. It's sideways. It's just bouncing at 60.5. All right, that's it. There's really nothing else. All right, so with that, it would be the same thing as I was looking on Ethereum, and that would make it for medium bullish divergence. And that move there and that move there. Medium bullish potential fraction to the upside, we're getting it, but you know what ultimately we're getting also is the same hidden bearish that Ethereum was developing here. Oh no. There we go. Oh, I switched charts by accident. That's not good. Scrox says he's been DCAing for ADA for years now and all staked. Feeling good about it. It's now, but looking forward to it breaking to the all-time highs. Yes. We don't have it here, so we just have it against the MACD. So that's a move for ADA. Again, looking like Bitcoin, looking like Ethereum. It's not doing anything like wowing. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, not like, you know, oh, I'm super hyped about it. The reason I'm not hyped about it is because we already saw it 3 times. It's the same thing we saw with Ethereum, the same thing we saw with Bitcoin. So really, it's not like it's like, oh, we hadn't seen this before or this is new. It was like everything we discussed just applies here as well. Do I think any bear patterns are forming on any daily charts, Bitcoin or Ethereum? Yeah, let's go check it. Why not? Bitcoin or Ethereum. So if we look at Bitcoin, very likely Ethereum is going to be doing the same thing because they just look similar. So looking at one is going to the other one. Pirate voice. This is my regular voice. It's not pirate voice. No, my throat's starting to go weird. Actually, I'm starting to cough. I was coughing a little bit. I had to mute my mic. And my wife was kind enough to bring me some like cough like, you know, like Halls. So yeah, like Ricola type of things, so I could basically eat something and help with the throat. But yeah. Alright, so that's there. And is this one also going to be from here? Ah, see, Bitcoin wanted to go to the 4 hour. See, Bitcoin doesn't have the medium bullish that we had with the other charts. So it's just Ethereum and ADA doing that. But you said on the daily, so let's go to the daily. Why do I have a huge curve forming here, man? What the hell is this from? Wow, did I draw something else here? Oh yeah, double top on the monthly. That's what that's from. That's weird. Oh, because this is not the Bitcoin chart we look at. It's this one. Ah! I was in the wrong Bitcoin chart. No, I'm here. I'm here. This is from a larger idea as well. This one should be from the weekly. Wow, if it's not from the weekly, then it's from the monthly. When was I talking about a potential, like, you know, cup and handle formation for Bitcoin? Because for that cup and handle formation, we need to start going down and create that lip and then go for that rally. But for some reason on the daily, I just have a really large blue thing popping up here that wasn't here earlier. That's just freaking weird. I'm probably looking at a different chart. That arc looked awesome. Ha! Yeah. Why did I draw this one on this chart? This is the main chart. It wasn't here earlier. I know I looked at the daily, and when we were doing a regular Bitcoin analysis, I could have sworn that this wasn't here. I might have missed it, but this should be like on the monthly. So no reason for that to be showing up here. Same with this one, because that's from a potential double top that I was discussing. You know, but we're not gonna be looking at the monthly because nothing's changing. It's a monthly. It takes months for that to build. So if there's anything bearish, yes, there's bearish divergence. Strong, building pressure down. We have hidden bullish that's trying to get us to hold, but ultimately one of the two is going to give, and either we're going to get the movement down with what we talked on the 4 hour, or we're going to get the movement up with what we talked on the 4 hour as well. So that's what's in store for Bitcoin, man. Either way, you know, either rally or, you know, we drop on the 3 falling peaks, or we rally on the inverse head and shoulders. Analysis from yesterday is still good today. And analysis from today is still good for the weekend, right? And the one from yesterday also, because we're looking in to either of the moves playing out. Again, the only way they don't play out is if we just move sideways towards the weekend, because that's going to basically kill the 4 hour move, right? So this move here, 3 fallen peaks, again, that one, we're just going to position here. So 1, 2, 3. With a breakdown or move up. If we just move sideways like I stated, right? We should move sideways, we're not going to get that. I didn't talk about an inverse cup and handle. I talked about a regular cup and handle. On the monthly, there's like a potential double top. If that's what you were talking about, the arc, that one. Yeah, I'm saying there is a potential for a double top formation to be building here. Particularly depending on how we close the month. So if we close around this level, right? So it'll be here. Then yes, we could be going for that double top. And that's just a potential. So it's not yet there. But that's a possibility. And then on the weekly, there is a potential for a cup and handle, regular cup and handle form. And that's probably going to be on this chart. I knew I'd draw it on one chart. I just can't remember what time scale I used. Might be this one. Again, some of these just take a while to load. This is one, but it's here. Yep. And this is too large of a time frame for a cup and handle. So this cup and handle will play on the weekly, more likely. Or even the monthly. So if we go on to the weekly... So I'm just going to send that off to the weekly so you guys can see it. Oh, snap, not that. I'm just going to send it to the weekly and the monthly. So when we go off onto the weekly, right, that's forming that cup formation, right? But for the handle to form, this needs to drop somewhere here. Stay above the midline, right? So if we were to fib this and go from the highest lip to the bottom, and I'm just going to use this right now as reference. We want to stay above that 50%, right? And when we get this drop, so maybe somewhere around here, and then we bounce, or any move where we come down here and start bouncing, then that cup and handle could form. Yeah. On the 4 hours, an inverse head and shoulders and a 3 fallen peaks pattern, man. That's what Bitcoin's doing. It could be either or. All right, so let's do this. So, all right, I'm gonna try to bring in two different images here. I just want to show you the two images real quick. Just gotta find two reference images for me to show. So, okay, the first one's this one, right? This here's the three fallen peaks that we were discussing, okay? And we're meeting a lot of the criteria for it. So we have our uptrend, we have our first, second, and third peak. We have our neckline here, right, or break line. And that's the lowest valley. Okay, so if you look at this, it's 1, we have our uptrend, 1, 2, 3, and then here is the valley, lowest valley, 61,000 and change. So that's for that movement down. That tends to break down, and then we get a significant move down usually after that break. And then up on back testing it and rejection, we can still move farther down. So that's what I told you guys earlier. And the other one that we have forming here as well is this one. Okay, so this is the inverse. Sorry, the inverse head and shoulders, right? And that is the one that's done with the blue. So we're going 1, 2, 3. And if you remember what I told you, once we break it, right? Then see, basically this chart just basically says the same thing I told you guys. Enter long on a 4-hour close above the neckline, right? So the neckline, I told you guys you enter when you break, and watch for the pullback. If we pull back and we break, you cancel your position. If you basically bounce and confirm, then you're set for that good move. That's it. That's how you play that. Same thing on the breakdown here. You wait for the break here. If it breaks, you wait for a playback. So you enter up on the break or upon a confirmation of the break. Then you wait for the throwback. If we reject and move farther down, you're good. As soon as it breaks back up, you cancel the position. That's that. That's how you play those moves. Okay? Basically everything I said earlier. I just had to go find information so I could show you as well. I don't check the moon phases, bro. So, yep, there we go. Okay, same thing. Wait for the pullback to new support. So here we go, right? You break, you wait for the pullback, and then you pump. It could just be that it runs. It doesn't have to come back and pull back, but you wait for that either for a confirmation or, you know, for it to see if it's going to break. If it's going to break, then, you know, you cancel the position upon a break below that and confirming that, because it could be that it breaks, but, you know, close back above it like it did here on this image. Where it kind of broke, it went below it, but it stayed. So the close was above, and that's confirming that as support. Right, we're going with the bodies, not the wicks. And if the body would have closed down here, you got to wait for the next candle. If the next candle is still closing bearish, then yeah, you got to cancel your position. But you got to see how fast this is going to move. Sometimes this move is really fast, and it just drops, and it drops significantly more. So you just got to be very cautious when you play this, okay? As far as, like, you know, canceling position. But again, just basically the same thing. And for the other image, that one, you would basically play the same way. Again, you enter here. Right? Again, signals a trend change. That's something that we're looking for. Changes in trend when we're swing trading. You basically open your short up on that break. And then you wait for confirmation. Here we got the confirmation way back here. But upon confirmation, it just continued going. If it would have just broken back up that line, then that move's done. And you basically cancel your position once you're above that line again. It's just the same thing, right? Genix, I think I've looked at it sometimes. I don't use it when I trade, right? I don't use it when I trade. Monday would kill both of these moves, right? Because that's that would be, let's see, it would be 6 bars. All right, so it'd be, let's do this one. I just gotta take something here to see if it's gonna kill the move or not. So we're here today. So it's gonna be the next 4 hours. It's gonna start here. So this puts it on Saturday already. So Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Sunday, Monday. Like here we're entering Monday. I'm not sure, man. It's not too far off. For me, would kind of be killing the move, right? Because that shoulder is going to be like, considering and assuming that we go there, that shoulder would be way, way long. It would be like a really weird looking shoulder, right? Yeah. I'm not sure if that would get it out of range, right? It could be. It could be that we start climbing slowly towards Sunday. That's another possibility. It doesn't have to happen. That it goes flat. But we could just go like this towards Monday, and then break that neckline, and that would definitely look better as far as the shoulder being formed, right? But it could be. I'm not gonna say what you're telling me is crazy. It could be that it correlates. All right. Alrighty, guys, we're going to be calling it a stream again. If you like the content, hit the like. There's 17 people here, only 18 likes. Make sure you hit the like, hit the bell, hit the sub. Join us on the Discord. Links have gone out. With all that being said, it's Friday, guys. Go out and enjoy life. Go out and have fun. Tomorrow, Saturday, I'm not going to be here Saturday or Sunday unless something crazy happens. Tomorrow, I have plans. I'm going to go out, have lunch with the family. We got invited for lunch. So I'm not even sure what time I'm going to be here tomorrow. And then Sunday, I'm usually just taking off unless the market's going nuts. At which point in time, I'll try to come in for a little bit just to discuss what's going on. Other than that, that's going to be for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. And, I'll catch you again Monday for another edition of TSO Crypto, unless something happens again Saturday or Sunday, which at that point in time, I'll try to come in and, discuss something that happened there. But that's it for tonight. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you Monday for another edition of TSO Crypto. Until then.